Okay, so there is this particular ingredient inside hair shampoos, right? And even conditioners as well. So the products that you use in the shower to put in your hair to essentially wash your hair, right? One of the main ingredients, so if you look at them, basically you won't really, no one really understands because it's not plain English, right? It's not like water, melon or whatever, but there's a bunch of like chemicals and shit in it. But one of the most predominant ones that I picked up in my bathroom, like 10 shampoos, and all of them had this one particular thing called sodium lauryl sulfate. Sulfate is the like, that's the most important part. Sulfate. It comes in a couple different versions of it. You have like sodium laurium sulfate and stuff like that. They have a bunch of like different names, but it always comes down to that last word, sulfate. And even conditioners had this as well. And then I looked at the soap that you put on your hands, which is usually like melon flavored, or I don't know, like pussy flavored or whatever. And what do you know? It has that same ingredient in it, sodium lauryl sulfate. Sulfate again. Then I looked at fucking the stuff that you use to wash the dishes. So the thing that removes the grease. The second ingredient inside that, again, sodium lauryl sulfate, which basically means that the conclusion, or basically like what you have to think about, is that your hair has equivalent grease as like fucking the pans that you use to fry your bacon in. But we all know that's bullshit, right? Because there's no way in hell that your hair has as much grease as fucking the dishes that need to be washed, which are greasy as shit because of the meat that's been cooked in them. And sodium lauryl sulfate, it can do the job for both, because literally you can wash the dishes with your hair wash, with your hair shampoo and shit. It works the same. So then I thought of it like this, right? This is especially for me because I have already dry hair, right? If I'm using shampoo 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you ideally don't want to be doing that every day, but maybe you don't know, maybe you need to, but ideally 2 or 3 times a week is good for shampoo, right? But if I already have like dry hair, maybe you have as well, and you keep applying this one particular ingredient, sodium lauryl sulfate, which the main purpose is to remove grease, you're gonna dry your hair out even more, considering it's not greasy to begin with. So you keep removing the grease from your hair, which essentially just dries it and damages the fuck out of it, which will leave you probably, maybe, I'm not even sure, I'm not a scientist, but it can probably leave you bald, man. So what is this solution? So I'm not saying there's like a clear-cut solution, but something I've been trying over the past week. And I think like I know that my hair is not as dry as it used to be. I can shampoo it less often. I'm not gonna name any brands because I'll get idiots in the comments saying that I'm sponsored and I'm doing this and blah blah blah. I'm trying to stay away from coming over as someone who's been accepting these sponsorship deals and stuff. I don't really fuck with it. But do your own research. But you can buy sulfate free hair products. And because of that, what will tend to happen is they use natural ingredients. I don't know how true that is, but essentially just look at the label before you buy it, or you can even do it on the internet, and you should look for sulfate, and that it should not have. Perhaps it will say sulfate free washing product, right? You buy those, they aren't even as expensive as you might think they are. Like it's pretty much the same price as your normal like Palmolive or whatever. And you basically just try it out for a week and you see if it's better for you or not. And if it's not, then you switch back to the standard like drugstore Palmolive, I don't know, like L'Oreal Paris or something, all that bullshit. You can use it. I'm not saying that it's, you know, 100% clear cut the best solution for everyone, but it's at least worth giving a shot, especially if you continue having issues with dry hair. So if you want to, you should try that out. Sulfate free hair ingredient. You can even look it up and just grab a couple shampoos in your dishwasher in the bathroom. You'll see they all have sodium lauryl sulfates. fix your hair. My name is Deenie. I want to help improve your life one level at a time. Click on subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And in the description, you'll see a bunch of links. I'd suggest you go through them on your own. Goodbye.